are live again on a Sunday.
Special time.
Yeah, they say it's a day of rest. We don't think so. Not today, anyway. Not today.
We don't let anybody race. Not going to let Vazgen rest either. Sorry, Vazgen.
Yeah, he just pulled this weekend. We're not letting him rest. But thank you for joining us, Vazgen Soghoyan. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So you pulled what'd you pull, 30 classes yesterday?
A little bit less, 5 classes.
Slightly under 30.
Well, this type of tournaments, which was in San Jose, California, this is about for people who are able to compete in multiple classes. This type of tournaments are about to make maximum money. They can do it there. So no matter what you do, you just enter and whatever you can win. This is they are not game-changing tournaments or career-changing tournaments, but it's nice if you can come home with some $500, $600, or $800 in the pocket in one day, which is in a driving distance. And by the way, in California, we have so many tournaments like that, which is fine. Of course, in a serious tournament, which is a career building or game changing, you enter just one class
Yeah.
to win that one class.
Which one do you like better?
I think we need both. Such a small tournaments, they have a great opportunity to make some money. Also to test yourself, what can you do before some big exam. And you go home, work on that, and just get better. This is the meaning of training, of tournaments, of practicing. It's normal for sports. Everybody do this.
Yeah, I love entering bigger classes just because sometimes grabbing a hold of a bigger hand, a longer arm, can kind of prepare you a little bit mentally, too, to feel better when you're grabbing a hold of somebody who maybe the same size as you later on.
Yeah, same time you are testing your limits. So where you are at, what can you do in next bigger event? This is very important.
Sure. Do you think it makes you a little more mentally aggressive next time too? If you're used to competing against somebody who's maybe closer to 200 pounds, and next time you're competing against somebody who's maybe 154 pounds?
I don't have such a subject to become a mentally aggressive. I prefer to say mentally focused. It can be just attentive, focused, everything. All your feelings are sharpened at that moment to make the right decision and to go the correct direction. This is called all focus. So yes, in my 150 class, I will have no problem next time.
Yeah. So you don't have any kind of what they would call like sports rage in a way. Some people they compete with rage, and then some people just kind of, there might be a fire inside there, but then they never really let it out until they say go, that kind of thing. So that may be how you are, more or less.
Well, people are different. Some people, they need to make them angry, aggressive, just slap them to wake up, to make them more powerful at that moment. Some people, they do that in different way, more quiet, thinking, just talking to themselves inside their mind. And, people different. So people prepare themselves to the upcoming fight in different way. Everything is acceptable. Whatever works for you, that's yours.
I 100% agree with that, yeah.
Have you guys pulled, by the way, you and John?
No, I've never pulled Vasken. No. I think I might have pulled. I might have after pulled with you, 2012 or something.
Where?
Reno, I think, at the end of Unified Nationals.
Okay.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, right. It was so long ago.
That was a good nationals.
Yeah, I remember it being very good. I think.
I still have the poster with me, and there is my picture. UAL made the championship nationals, and they made a beautiful poster, and I took the poster with me. I asked everybody, whoever were there, to sign it, and it's here in my apartment.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Vasgen, how did you get involved in arm wrestling to begin with?
Well, it was in 96, 97. I was just lifting weights at the gym, doing mainly powerlifting and bodybuilding training. Just started. And there was a table in the gym. Arm wrestlers were training a little bit later after my group. But you can go and try with other guys. So I was beating my training group guys. But I didn't do any technique, nothing, just whatever it was. I was strong. And I heard there was a tournament in 97. I went, and in 154 class, in 132, 60 kilogram. I was young and light at that time. So I just beat everybody. I took first place. And then another tournament, I took again first place. Then I decided, hold on, let's think about this seriously. And the president of Armenian Federation called me. He talked to me. He explained that different people are made different for different sports. For example, someone is naturally built for boxing, someone is for powerlifting or weightlifting, someone is for arm wrestling. So he thought that I have really good chances in arm wrestling, and I started to train this seriously. Joined the Armenian team, and after like 2-3 months, I went to World Junior Championship, first World Junior Championship in 98 in Moscow, and I took 5th place. It was 58 kilograms weight class, which is a little bit less than 132. So me and Rustam Babayev, we were competing in same class.
Wow.
He took 2nd place at that time. Spanish guy Ivan Portela took 1st place. I took 5th place. I lost to a Spanish guy, but in 2005 World Championship, already in seniors in Japan, I beat this Spanish guy and I took 1st place.
Oh, good. You got a little revenge.
Revenge game.
Very good.
Yeah. Then trainings, tournaments, and championships, got involved. More experience, more knowledge. Always trying to stay in contact, in touch with arm wrestlers worldwide. Exchange of experience, which is very helpful. I don't see that in America. People just are inside the country. Communication with overseas is not that much. Information, whatever they have, is just online, Facebook.
Right.
So I try to, whenever visits Los Angeles, they call me international puller. They just come to visit me, and we have practice together. I'm bringing all my teammates, my friends. I want them to know who are international pullers, all those legends and champions that they have seen in videos, they can see right now in our gym. I let everybody know that, for example, Zoloev is going to be in our gym in this day, this time. Everybody welcome to come and to visit him.
Cool.
Do you think that there's truth to the statement that Europeans and Russians and those types of guys train differently than we do? Because if sometimes people say they focus more on the weightlifting and training with straps and that kind of stuff rather than the actual arm wrestling.
I would say there is some difference between American style of arm wrestling training and European style. So Europeans, they develop such system of training. It's like 90% focus on just arm wrestling only. Americans, most guys, they are doing some training. They think it's arm wrestling training, but in really it's less effective. So it's kind of like 40% effective arm wrestling training. I know many guys, they come to ask me to show some arm wrestling training. I show them, and after I ask, okay, now you tell me what you were doing. So he was doing totally different things, exercises that they are not connected with arm wrestling. Some unknown lifting. Most guys, they do this unknown lifting. And if they switch to correct arm wrestling training, they will have progress very quick. Europeans who are training, we are talking about top guys.
Sure.
So they do this arm wrestling training systematically all year round. That's why they have better results.
So when you say like arm wrestling focus, are you saying they're doing different types of like weightlifting activities that are, specifically targeting arm wrestling style muscles or arm wrestling positions versus us just doing curls or bench presses or whatever?
General conditioning is important. I do that too. For example, bench press or pull-ups or back muscle, whatever. But I bring example on my own arm wrestling training. So I developed such a training system during all my career, which makes the whole arm wrestling training idea almost perfect. Whatever you can see on the table at the arm wrestling fight, whatever movement, motion, or any trick or any technique style, whatever you can see there,
Yeah.
I have that exercise to train. So you are going, and for example, top roll in some style. For example, top roll in Luke King style or hook in Jeff Hale style, how to resist, how to defend, and how to attack. I have all that position and situation training, whatever you can see on arm wrestling match. And if you train this at the table, everything goes automatic and you are strong in the move, not you are strong in bicep exercise only. You can lift 200 pounds on a curl bar on bicep, but maybe you cannot use that power at the arm wrestling table during the match.
Right.
So you cannot connect the power to the real movement. Another thing, if you train both conditioning and special movement in arm wrestling. So my system and all my guys who train with me, they are progressing very fast. And later they come and see, hey, I did this move at the match that we have same exercise. Okay, I know that.
Like they're telling you, like it's news to you. So with different trainings, that's how about like recovery? Is there anything that you've developed over the years of maybe through some slight injuries or anything like that, where you learned how to recover a little bit better, a little bit smarter, a little quicker, or anything like that?
I would like to go before that recovery in our conversation. So when you need recovery after hard training or after tournament or recovering from injury, so in your training you must prepare your body to that critical moment in arm wrestling fight, to be ready to fight, to survive, and to win, and win without injuries preferably. So you must prepare your arm, your body in your training. If you finish your fight with victory without any injuries. For example, I had a tournament yesterday. Today morning I went to gym, no problems. No sore, even sore. My training is much harder than I had pressure in tournament. Recovery. You don't train. So when I trained well,
Yep.
I don't need that much time for recovery after tournament or training. I recover very fast.
Because you're in great shape all the time.
Yeah, so I'm ready for it.
Right.
Because my pressure at the tournament was less than in my training, so I'm okay.
Gotcha.
So you don't train same muscle or muscle group every day. One day you do top roll, next day you do bicep, another day you do forearm, another day just general, one day rest, and then start over, for example, like this. So same muscle doesn't work. They don't work 2 days in a row. And recovery after injury, first you need to figure out what happened, how it happened to recover, to make that recovery correct. Then as it happens, injury happens. Most of our guys, they don't know what to do. And you will see very often people posting pictures in hospital after tournament. Almost like 50% of pullers, they have pictures after tournament in hospital. Surgery. Hold on, I do this 20 years. I had never been in hospital. So when injury happens, immediately you need to put some cold stuff. It can be ice or some cold spray to prevent the injury get big. And then after some hours, need to wrap it, to warm it, rest some days, then start very, very light trainings with rubber bands or light cables or weights. And slowly, week after week, you add more and more pressure in your trainings. Also, supplements are part of the recovery. During your training, you need to take the whole stuff of supplements. It can be joint supplements, protein, aminos, whatever you are taking. They help your body to recover faster than normally. So you are ready for your next training. Mm-hmm. So these supplements also help to recover faster after injury. So everything is connected.
Actually, the supplements question, John Cervantes just wrote in saying he was curious about what supplements you take, if any, or do you have specific ones you recommend for people?
Yeah, I can recommend. There is no secret. Everybody worldwide, they do that. So number one thing, you need to take joint supplement. You know, we put more pressure on joints in our sports. Sure. So joints work more than really those nice muscle. So I use Animal Flex from Universal Nutrition.
Okay.
That's the best thing you can find on the market for our sports. Animal Flex, and your arms, they don't hurt anymore after some time. After practice or training, you're fine. It helps to rebuild the damaged joints after training quickly. Protein, you take always to help to recover the muscle that you destroy in training. Sure. And it's the main food for muscle. Mm-hmm. Any type of protein you can find in the stores, which works well for you. You can take some company protein, it doesn't work for you. Another one is working. So you need to figure out what's good for you. Mm-hmm. Also, from time to time, I take creatine whenever I want to gain some weight. For example, before some tournament. Creatine helps to accumulate some liquid in muscle, which gives a little bit power. Trainings in the gym goes good. You lift more weights, you get a little bit stronger. But taking creatine has a moment that you need to know. The liquid that you are gaining in muscle, yes, it makes you strong. But in arm wrestling fight, you get tired quick. Your arm, after a long fight, gets pumped quick, and you cannot continue your match. So we need some dry fighter's muscle in arm wrestling match. 2-3 weeks before tournament, stop taking creatine. During that 2-3 weeks, the water goes, and you are ready for the tournament.
That's interesting, Vazgen. Someone was telling me the other day that Denis Cyplenkov dehydrates himself a little bit before tournaments just because he believes that it reduces the pump that he has in between matches. And you're saying something a little bit similar there. It makes me curious. I've not heard that before, but I've heard a couple people say it recently. And Herman Stevens also says that you are forgetting to talk about the fact that you guys are 90% alcohol focused, and that you failed to mention that in your training regimen.
So about Denis Cyplenkov case, Denis is using steroids and growth hormone mostly to be in shape. Yeah, that's not a secret.
No.
So,
I know, but it's John's favorite subject. So I'm glad you brought it up instead of me.
So Denis, he accumulates those steroids. They gain a lot of liquid in the muscle. That's why he gets that big, strong, and the hormones too. And he knows that in arm wrestling fights, especially in long fights, he will be like less long lasting. So he needs to dry a little bit. A little bit losing water makes muscle long lasting, so he can survive longer at the arm wrestling match. The same with creatine. Just let it go for some 2 weeks before tournament. You're fine.
Interesting. You ever hear that before, John? I never heard that.
No, I've never heard it. The only thing I tried creatine years ago, and I got cramps in my like the small muscles like on the side of my hand and stuff, and I just wonder if maybe I wasn't staying hydrated enough, and that's why I was getting those cramps. I don't know.
It's possible.
I just never took it after that, and I felt fine. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe in your case it worked different.
Yeah, everybody's
Human
right?
body. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
like, I never
go
had
ahead,
a problem. I never had a problem with getting like real. I have pretty good endurance on the table, and I think if I could use it just to kind of, I think the extra water also, in theory, should help you kind of avoid some injury too. Any kind of cushion around the joints and stuff is a little better.
Right. So when you are trying to recover from injury, gaining a little bit weight is very useful. So if you take creatine, muscle gets bigger and wider, injury recovers faster, blood flow goes faster, and all those good vitamins and minerals, they help to recover, rebuild the damaged area. So it's recommended to take creatine to recover the injury.
Back to the training stuff, Vazgen. I don't know if you know Top Roll Low, but he sent in a question. He's curious about techniques you would recommend to deal with someone that he has to face who has a very strong side pressure.
Training against side pressure.
Yeah, and he's a top roller, so
you need to have same strong side pressure to survive such an opponent. If you don't have a side pressure, whatever you do, basically side pressure works mostly before the match. Yeah. After, they use other technique, top roll hook. Only maybe Richard Lupkis goes side pressure all the way. So to survive against opponent with huge side pressure, you need to build same strong side pressure and to develop your original technique and stuff.
Yeah, do you think if your side pressure is not strong enough to match with somebody else's side pressure, it's probably going to end up being a defensive match for you, at least at one point in that match?
So I believe in such idea. You must be perfect in everywhere. Top roll, hook, side pressure, even tricep press, whatever. If something is missing and someone beats you in that weak area, others can see that. The next guy will go to that weak area.
That's right.
So if there is some weak ring in the chain, the whole chain breaks. That's why training must be close to perfect. And you must train all possible situations, all possible techniques.
I think that's a good idea. And I think that, arm wrestling, we don't have, like in judo, there's 10,000 techniques. We only have 5 or 6 real ones. So I think it's a good idea to be proficient in all of them. I don't think enough people do it. Like I've always top rolled as my primary technique because of the length of my arm, but I feel like everything's gotten a lot better since I started hooking and tricep pressing and that kind of stuff. I feel like the top roll is better because the overall engagement of my muscles is, I think, a little bit more intelligent because I've started using all these other techniques. It helps you do the one that you like as well. So I agree with that. I think it's a good idea. And it makes me, again, when I think about Europeans versus Americans, at least the impression here is that Europeans are doing more intelligent training like that, more specific focused training for each technique, and that might be why they tend to be doing better than us right now in general matchups, except for possibly the heavyweights. But what do you think is the difference competing against Americans versus competing overseas, Vazgen? That question's from Robert Belay, by the way.
So first we need to get Americans to the international stage. That's the problem number one. Yes, America has the best heavyweights. It was always like that. The thing why lightweights, medium weights are not as good as Europeans, I think the problem is because they don't go to the World Championship. They don't see what's going on internationally. And they don't bring that experience back to home and get strong and help others to get stronger. For example, take some lightweight in Wall and bring him to the World Championship. He will meet others super strong guys in his class. Maybe he will discover that, I need to train a little bit more. And he can see their abilities. Then he goes home, he trains hard, he gets better. He rises his level. This way he rises his level. Same thing with everybody. Why I go to the World Championship every year? Because I need that experience to bring my own trainings later at the next level. This is the main thing. We have many guys in lightweight, middleweight in America who can compete in the World Championship, no problems, who can win there, but somehow they don't go there. And you cannot say I am the best guy in the world and staying at home. So you can see a lot of guys, they call themselves world champions and best in the world, number one in the world. These guys have never been at the World Championship. You cannot say like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or you cannot call yourself the best guy in the world and staying at home. So traveling and competing with pullers from other countries makes you strong. This is the main thing.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to defend against something that you've never really been up against. Is what you're basically saying.
Yeah, and this problem is connected with American Federation too. So Josh was at the Nationals. He saw what happened there. Mm-hmm. There was almost nobody. And this championship builds Team USA for the World Championship. We can understand what the results are later. Mm-hmm. To compare that, there was Russian Nationals 2 months ago, I think. Just juniors had 800 entries.
Unbelievable.
800. Just juniors. Now imagine what kind of competition is that and how strong the winners are. So if you bring all Americans all together to a national championship, what do you think? How many pullers we have?
It'd be so many. It'd be unbelievable.
Like 300, 400?
I think you can. I mean, if we put an article up, Vazgen, about the fact that we should unify the nationals and have one and have everybody not schedule the tournaments around it so we could really get a true representation. I feel like you'd get more than 300 or 400. I mean, they get 300 guys at Michigan state championships. I mean, I think we could do more than that. But I think you bring up a key point. I mean, like, for example, another point that was just brought up online, Rob Vision just beat Todd Hutchings right-handed. Todd Hutchings has gone, overseas quite a bit and beat most people that he's gone up against. What if we brought Rob in the 90 kilograms over to World Championships? I mean, and if we use that same philosophy to the strongest people in each of our classes, if we brought over, I think we do a hell of a lot better. I mean, I think the teams are awesome. It's great that people are going, but you're right. When you have a nationals that has 100 entrants versus one that has 600 entrants, the quality of people you're going to bring over is going to suffer. There's no way around it.
Yes. The question is to Rob Vision, why you don't go to the World Championship? Only he can answer to this. We can guess the reasons only.
I've asked him about it a bunch of times. He keeps saying, maybe this year. Like, he wanted to get Todd Hutchings. He wanted to try to win WAL, and then he was like, next year I'm going to focus on... Because I don't know if you know about him. He's a big advocate for natural athletes and no steroids and all that kind of stuff. So World Championships would be perfect for him.
Yeah, and the World Championship is something that you cannot compare with money prizes and other stuff. Dave Chaffee. Who is Dave Chaffee? World champion. Mm-hmm. Yep. 2010, Mesquite, Nevada.
242s.
Who are other guys? Regional champions. What is regional champion? You are thinking, what is regional champion? It's hard to understand what is a regional champion.
Yeah.
He's a world champion. Okay. Easy. Yeah. Nice. There is no bigger than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like being an Olympian.
Travis Bajan. Who is Travis? World champion. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very true. And I think Rob would be. You talk about the 198s, Josh. I think Rob would be an amazing 187 because he's really.
Yeah, we need to bring Rob and pullers like Rob, who are strong, who are ready, who are in good condition to the World Championship. Right. But they need to go through the process, nationals and worlds. So we have nationals doping testing and worlds doping testing if you win. Mm-hmm. They must be ready for this. In other organizations, nobody tests for doping. Right. It can be WAL, USAA, or AAA, or whatever.
Yeah, you're right. And I actually got tested at nationals, and I felt like it felt kind of cool. It was like, all right, this is the way it should be. It's taken more seriously. Travis Bajan was on with us last week or the week before, and he said that his opinion is 70% of the top pullers are using. If that's true, it's kind of sad. In
I would say Travis is wrong.
Yeah.
90% of top pullers are using.
You might be right, man.
That's today's picture.
Yeah.
You cannot deal in professional sports without taking any hormonal stuff. Maybe some 20 years ago it was different. But now, when you go to compete with others who are monsters, you have to be another monster to compete with them. And you have to be smart doing that. To know
is that why you're not pulling WAL, or is there another reason?
First, WAL, they don't have my weight class. I have to go compete against 65ers who are normally walking 70 something or 80.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They cut down weight. This is another reason why I cannot compete in that league. And there are many other problems too that I think that stopped me competing. Contracting and rules, equipment, the way how they understand doing arm wrestling. So many reasons that they don't match to my opinion. Maybe for someone else it's perfect and they're fine. I don't argue with them. It's fine.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. I've tried my hand at the WAL, and I had, it was okay, but I just, with my opinion with rules and how stringent they are and how clear they are, because there seems to be a lot of confusion about, even when the rules have been written down, there's still questions after the match that are legitimate questions, and everybody's just kind of standing around going, I don't know. I don't know if that was a foul or not.
I had the case in, I think 2014, I pulled in WAL tournament in Las Vegas in Mandalay Bay.
Okay.
So I think I pulled Michael Hahn. Then there was something, he was not happy with the call. He pulled out a paper, he printed out the rules from their website. And he tried to explain the referee what happened, and he is right, the call is bad. They didn't even pay attention on that. Just get the fuck out here. And later, Frank Bean calls me and Michael, hey guys, you are not supposed to pull. That's the wrong match. So hold on. He tried to bring argument based on their own rules. They didn't even look at the rules.
Mm-hmm.
So we deal with many stuff with that.
Yeah.
Again, some people, they are fine with it. No worries.
Yeah, I think, and I don't even think it's necessarily a bad thing that they're running into issues with that. It's just, actively acknowledging and dealing with those issues is a good start. If you're going to start something new, there's always going to be some kind of issue. It's not a huge deal, but it is a big deal if we just don't ever address them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are saying we are a new organization, we are learning, we are changing.
Right.
After that 2014, the biggest tournament ever, I came home and I wrote an article. It was on message board at that time. And I brought all the things they directly affected on the results of the matches and the weight classes later. And I asked them to review that and to check in their system and to make it better for the next time. Nothing has changed since that.
Right.
Still the same. And about equipment they use and the rules, they let pullers go longer than the real loss happens. It brought so many injuries. Remember, like 8 guys, they broke their arms in that tournament. So why not to stop that on time to prevent that? 2 broken arms in one tournament, that's too much. It's not accepted.
And if you look at the other side of it, which is the argument for like TV, that it looks better for TV. And the other argument is that the PAL or organizations like that use those rules, WAF and such, there's too many fouls. The audience doesn't understand it. Do you think that there's any legitimacy to that argument?
I understand why they say it's good for TV. It gets more views. People watch just arm wrestling fight. Nobody stops the match with falls and then rematch. Okay, the recent video that I shared from Tapro Lowy page, escape from the building technique. I call that escape from the building. What do you think? Is this good for the TV?
No.
This is the question.
No.
The referees are fine. They are keeping running the match. The opponent is trying to catch the fingers of opponent and to beat him no matter the guy is already in the balcony or somewhere outside.
Yeah, he's in the parking lot.
What do you think? Is this good for TV? Another thing, if Marcio Barboza and Devon Larratt are pulling and there are some minor elbow falls, they are fine if they run it. In special, they have running fall rules. That's fine. But escape from the building, trust me, is not good for the TV.
Right. I think for a long time, arm wrestlers.
So I want to say that I understand what is good for TV, what is not good.
Sure.
I understand what they mean, what is good for TV. So they are just saying, oh, you are complaining about everything. No, I don't complain about everything. I just show you something that I say this is wrong, and I show you the argument.
Right.
I don't say it without just any evidence or something.
Right. And I think for a long time, arm wrestlers in general have been trying to tell the public this sport isn't what you think it is. It's deeper than that. There's more structure. It's professional. And it feels like to me that those kind of situations can just help the perception stay where it's been, which is the bar room. These guys are just maniacs. There's really no holds barred. We've been telling people forever that it's not like this, guys. It's not like that. And then they see it on TV and they're like, no, really, it is like that. I can see it right there.
Yeah, I had a situation, the first episode of Game of Arms. I called all my friends and everybody, okay, here is starting the show about arm wrestling. We will see all my friends arm wrestling.
Right.
And then I see Kenny Hughes. He's driving, drinking and smoking same time. He goes to his father's farm. There is some wood picnic table. He puts towel under elbow. He's doing some warm-up. And then I see Mike Celerius pulling from the street pole.
Yeah,
Right.
And they go and compete in some rusty
I know.
somewhere. Okay, my friends, they look at me. Is this what you are doing? I said, no, guys, I'm not doing this. This is not our wrestling. Just a show.
Yeah.
They made it nice, what they think. So people can watch it. This is just a show.
Yeah.
This is not about professional
Right.
sports. So I had that situation.
Yeah, I think we
That's
all.
tricky.
I think we all had one or two of those situations. Yeah.
So, Vazgen, tell me about your opponent. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but Hristo, I guess. Do you know anything about him? What kind of fight are you expecting?
His name is Hristo Delijakov.
Okay.
He's a world-famous, multi-time Bulgarian world and European champion. People in America, they don't know him because they don't go to the World Championship, so that's why they don't know him. And trust me, the real arm wrestling is at the World Championship. So he's experienced and very strong guy. But besides that, there is one nasty thing. He's another Michael Todd in 154 class.
Oh.
I see.
He has some special, unusual style and technique that even stronger pullers than him, they have problems pulling with him. It's same if you try to pull with Michael Todd. So need to figure out what may happen in upcoming match. Prepare for that, train for that, and then not to make mistakes, to make correct decisions during the match, which makes your task more difficult. But I have pulled him before in 2014, I think, yeah. World Championship, and 2015. So I have experience pulling with him, but I remember I was feeling comfortable in a setup, in grip. Well, arm wrestling is unpredictable. Everything may happen.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
I think I can handle this match.
And
It will be not easy, but I think I can handle this match.
And I think more Americans might know him as a ref, to be honest with you, because he is a phenomenal referee.
He's also a professional referee, so it makes his qualities better. When you are a puller and you have experience reffing, so you are using the rules too in your fight. You are using the rules for your victory to make your road to the victory easier and better. Well, I'm trying to do this too because I have a referee degree at the World Championship. I participate in referee seminar there at every World Championship. Then I ref in some tournaments here in California. And by the way, in October they invited me to Mexico to ref at their national championship, which was very fine and was awesome. So they are taking all that hospitality and everything.
That's cool.
So it's good when you are a referee, and when you are pulling, you have the referee view to the match too. It makes your quality better.
Do you have any predictions for the other matches on that card, Vazgen?
Making predictions is such a hard thing, but
I know, but it's fun.
yeah, it's fun.
What about Pushkar and Trubin? What do you say? I mean, a lot of people think Trubin has got his number now. What do you think?
I think they are right, but don't forget that who is Pushkar, and he is not coming to lose.
No.
It may be 3-3.
Yeah, I think it's.
And Trubin is working harder to beat Pushkar to become number one.
Right.
So for me, it's hard to predict what will happen there. Maybe 3-3. Both are super strong, and probably their mistakes will decide the result. Also, another great match of Dennis and Mike.
Right.
They had experience pulling each other at the Arnolds. I was there right off the stage to watch the first match in qualifiers. Michael Todd beat Dennis.
Right.
And there's an interesting story in that. So I was standing right next to his coach, Kote Razmadze, who is a multi-time world champion and another legend from Georgia. He's tennis coach.
Right.
And I was listening what he was telling Dennis to help him to win the fight. And I was really listening. Then when Dennis lost, he came off the stage. Kote told him, okay, you were weak in this part because you didn't do this exercise, and in the technique you didn't do these things. Next day, Denis Tsiplenkov did the correct thing and he beat Michael Todd. I came home after that, Arnold. I started to work exactly whatever he was telling to Denis Tsiplenkov.
Right.
Here is a great example about gaining the experience. Go to the World Championship. Watch, listen, and learn.
Yeah.
You cannot get better staying at home. So Denis Tsiplenkov and Michael Todd, well, Tsiplenkov got a lot better after that Arnold Classic.
Right.
We know that. We have seen his A1 tournaments and national. I don't know. It's hard to predict.
Yeah.
And Mike got better. But probably, I think, maybe Denis Tsiplenkov might have 55% more chances. So it's very, very minor, but 55%, I would say. Or maybe it can be another 3-3. It's hard to say.
Yeah, do you think the chances, how quickly do you think the chances start to go down the longer the matches go? Because we all know Michael's style. You know, do you think Dennis will be able to hang in there for those hard matches in the early, after the early stoppages?
Well, I think Tsiplenkov will prepare for such a situation. He's not coming to lose.
Right.
So he will work on endurance too.
It's an interesting match. They both have that same locked elbow where they can't fully extend their arm. So they could be it could put them in some very interesting situations.
Yeah. So, and from the other side, technique of Michael Todd and huge strength from Tiplenkov.
Right.
Probably this is one of the best vendettas ever. The last one was very, very awesome. I was there in Vegas to watch. And another match of Zoloev and Christianler.
Mm.
Here I think Zoloev is favorite.
Yeah, he's got a
People,
tough.
yeah,
Go
people
ahead.
watch Zoloev videos only. I know him personally. I see him every year.
Yeah.
I had him in my gym last time before Vendetta. So I feel Zoloev is favorite.
Mhm.
No words.
Yeah, and
Do you
And
think
Chris had
RVJ would give him
trouble
a good match?
to Zoloev?
Yeah.
I don't think so. RVJ, we haven't seen him pulling in World Championship. I don't know what's his level at there. Yes, he's super strong. He's super knowledgeable, but he hasn't competed there. So it's hard to compare what will
right.
happen.
Yeah, there's no one
I
to, yeah.
know Zoloev, so I just go for Zoloev because of that reason only.
Yeah.
It's a fair reason. Zolov's been everywhere and done basically everything. So I think a good example of that might have been seeing him in a Craig Tullier pull and how, you know, they ended on elbow fouls. But it looked like, to me anyway, that Zolov's arm was pretty superior. It wasn't moving much past center.
Yeah. So I remember an interview or some comments in Russian social media. They say Zoloev had no resistance in Arnold Classic. So I remember that.
Interesting, man. I hope these guys start going because I'd love to see some of these matches everybody talks about all the time. You know.
Yeah. The other match. What's the other match? Tim Bresnan and
Yeah, Siliev. Dmitry
Silaev.
Silaev, yeah.
Yeah, Dmitry Silaev is a young guy.
Yeah.
He was a junior some years ago. He's very nice guy, respectful. Always at the World Championship, he comes to us. Hey, how are you guys? Always with respect, with smile. And he took bronze medal at the World Championship in super heavyweight class, which is huge thing. So Tim Bresnan will meet some young talent who is coming up. Silaev is strong lefty, but his right hand is also very strong. And we have seen Tim Bresnan beating Voivoda.
Yeah,
Right.
that we did.
So, this is another good match. Again,
Yeah,
those matches are so awesome. I cannot predict.
Yeah.
yeah, that's perfect. It actually shows how good the card is.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to, you know, Tim, you kind of have to go with, you know, he's probably stronger, but Silaev's so young that who knows how quickly he's getting strong too.
Yeah.
You know?
All pullers are very good. All pullers are
exactly.
friends to me. I love them all. So doing predictions, it's so hard to me when you do personal things with that.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
I trained with Tim for 7 years, so of course Tim is definitely gonna win in my eyes.
But the thing I would recommend everybody is, guys, go and watch Vendetta. Or if you can't go, just watch it on TV or whatever is it, on pay-per-view. But to be there is another experience. This is what I feel. So I went to all Vendettas, and it's another thing just to be there right in place. And see some things that it's not on TV. Just be there, watch these guys, watch how they prepare, what they do, you can see what they think. It's another experience. Just buy the ticket or just do that road trip. Just go there.
Yeah.
I know it's Rhode Island, it's far, but still, it's worth. Trust me. And people who want to change something in their understanding in arm wrestling, this is the place to be. You will see arm wrestling in his best and in his perfection there.
Yeah, when I was at the Vegas Vendetta with Tim and Voivoda, and you're right. What you don't see is the setting up of the cameras and all the monitors and how much work goes into how focused they are on bringing the best show they can, with also thinking of the athletes, you know, being fair with the fairness and everything. Yeah, it's a hell of an experience.
Yeah, and there are some moments which are, they are details, but they make sense. For example, the last match, Trubin and Michael Todd. So Trubin's arm was pumped so much, he needed immediately ice, and his coach, Ahmed, he's just screaming me from the stage, "Hey, Vazgen, where is your ice spray? Throw me, quickly." And they have like 2 minutes to recover for the next fight.
Right.
And I have that in my bag, and just from the hole, I just throw it to the stage. And guess what? It saves a match for him.
Yeah.
Later, I told Trubin, always remember who saved this fight for you. So there are some moments that later become historical, maybe.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Are you gonna? I mean, what was I gonna say? So when are you coming out to Rhode Island?
Say again, please.
Are you coming out to Rhode Island early, or are you just gonna be out for the day of the event?
Well, PAL will arrange my travel stuff. This is another great thing with PAL and data pullers. We don't deal with those things, to make expenses and travel arrangements. They just send me ticket and just be there. Here is your hotel, Vazgen. Who you want to stay with someone or alone? They do all whatever we ask. So whatever they buy the ticket, of course, maybe 2 days before that, because they have some work to do before Vendetta. Interviews, pictures, then official announcements, weigh-ins, everything. So probably 1 or 2 days before Vendetta, I will arrive there.
It's cool. Yeah, well, hopefully we're going to be down there too, broadcasting. We'll see for sure, but we're planning on it as of now. So I'll probably see you there.
Yeah, Josh only lives like 2 hours away, so he'll definitely be there.
I live like an hour away. I'll definitely be there.
Even better.
Yeah, that's great.
So Vazgen, you're pulling this Vendetta, and I'm guessing you'll be pulling more with them because your relationship, I'm guessing, is pretty good with them. But is there anybody that you would like to match up with who you haven't with on the world scale that maybe you've seen coming up, or you just haven't ever butted heads with?
So up to now, my participants in Vendetta was arranged with who is available on the market, who is available overseas. People have different schedule and everything.
Sure.
America, we have most pullers contracted with some leagues, and they cannot compete with in other organization events.
Sure.
Which suck. But overseas, we have a lot of athletes who are able to compete. So after this Vendetta, there will be another Vendettas, but the idea of participating in Vendetta is changing slowly. So American Arm Fighter system is created. So if you want to compete in Vendetta, because PAL gets a lot of calls, hey, I want to compete in Vendetta. Okay, go win, qualify for final tournaments. Win the final tournaments, then there is a World Cup for America, like the Mirov.
Right.
Champions are getting Vendetta list. So then they sign a contract with you for Vendetta. The contract is about just Vendetta video material only. You just give them right. They will show you on TV your video.
Right.
You are free. You are not a slave. This is not another declaration of slavery. And everything is written in the contract. You will receive money in case of win this much. You will receive money in case of loss this much. They will buy all your travel expenses and everything. So the winners of that World Cup get Vendetta list. And guess what? Since next year, worldwide, in every country, they have their armed fighters. Russian armed fighter, Georgian, Armenian, Slovakian, or whatever. And they go through this process, and the winners of their finals will meet internationally already. For example, winner of American Armed Fighter meets winner of Georgian Armed Fighter or Russian.
Mm-hmm.
This way is changing the system slowly.
Uh-huh.
It's exciting too.
Yeah, I like that.
So, yeah, if you want to pull with the strong, you through that process and you become that strong. So, for example, I don't need to go through that American Arm Fighter tournament process. I am already in Vendetta.
Right.
Yeah.
But others to get there, they need to win.
Right.
That's it.
It's a good system. Is there anybody stateside that people that? I mean, let's see here. Sam Harris. I know you went up against him at UAL, I believe. I don't know if you guys have ever had a super match. I don't think so. He did pretty well yesterday at WAL. I don't know if you caught that. But or I don't know, anybody else in the United States you want to try out?
I had calls to Jeff Hale about possible Vendetta. One time he had a contract with WAL and he just couldn't pull.
Yeah.
Right.
And then first he said yes, and then he just didn't reply. So this is another thing that we are asking. This is a huge opportunity that PAL gives to someone. So if you are ignoring that, okay, switch to next guy. People need to understand what is Vendetta. Vendetta starts right 2-3 months before it.
Right.
They are rolling you on social media, interviews, videos, training. The whole world starts to listen your name, read about you. You become world famous. By the day of Vendetta fight, you are already world famous. And no matter you win or you lose there, everybody already know you worldwide.
Right.
After Vendetta, they are again rolling your interviews, your opinion. If you lost, why it happened, what was your mistake, so what's your next work, what's your opinion about the fight. So still after the Vendetta fight, you are on that social media, you know how PAL runs that, all those commercials, interviews, and information. So it changes your career. It's a game-changing, career-changing event for you. And most pullers in my class, if we consider that 154 is my class, probably there is no puller in that class that I would like to compete. Everybody are heavier, like 165, 170. For example, I always go for the strongest guy.
Yeah.
I asked Igor Mazurenko to bring Corey Miller to compete with you. I'm not a guy that, okay, just bring me some weak guy, I beat and I become a hero. No, that's not a hero. You're a clone. So I asked for a stronger guy, Corey Miller. So he brought Corey Miller. Yes, Corey lost weight, cut weight for that. Yes, we competed. I lost a match. But I asked the strong guy. But in 154 class, so Corey is not 154. He is heavier usually.
Yeah.
In 154, I guess there is no puller on American market that I would like to compete or something. Overseas, many pullers. Many.
Yeah, and what I do like about
Only international pullers.
Well, I mean, it's just, again, Vazgen, you brought it up several times here, and it's something that, it's important to me that it gets changed, because I do agree, there's so many people out there in countries all around the world that have a great deal of skill, a great deal of experience, that are completely unknown to us. And I think, if we have a stronger U.S. team, that people will take more interest in it and maybe follow the athletes. Maybe it'll be easier to get sponsors, and then, that's another pathway to, I don't know about stardom, but certainly it's a pathway to having people know who you are and know what the sport is and take it more seriously, other than the WAL pathway. So I think it would be awesome. And I know Peter Mills was on here talking about expanding the Vendetta and having like an undercard with people who are lesser known but are like up and coming pullers, and they can pull somebody overseas if they can't necessarily get to the World Championship. So it just increases the international contact between us over here and various countries overseas. And that's another way to expand interest, I think. And it's because of the rigid rules and the professional approach of PAL, I prefer it. I mean, like John, I've done WAL, like you've done up WAL, and there's some fun parts about it. And it's almost like a circus show, which can be exciting and fun, and it's raucous. But the World Championships and the unified rules of WAF, it has a very professional feel to it with the drug testing and everything else. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of what the Vendettas are accomplishing in PAL in general.
Yeah, just people today, they have a lot of things to choose. They can go here, there. It's their choice. You cannot blame anyone why you went to WAL, why you went to the World Championship or whatever. They
Right.
think that's good for them. That's it. But about Team USA idea, yes, we would like to see the strongest team. Last time it was strong in 2010 when it was in America.
Right.
Remember that Nationals in Billings, Montana? It was one of the largest in history.
Right.
So people came because the Worlds was in America.
Right.
I'm sure next time we will have such a strong Nationals when we will have the Worlds in America or somewhere
Or Canada.
close to
Right.
America. Canada, yeah, like Canada.
What would your dream team be, Vazgen, for the World Championships? If you could take anybody you wanted.
All the best in all classes.
I know, but who would that be?
It's a long list.
Let's
of all
say
those
let's
classes.
say we say you would go for 154s. You don't have to worry about that. But what about 76s, 98s, etc.
Oh, we have 12 weight classes
Yep.
at the World Championship. In America, we have less classes.
Right.
So we need first to figure out who is cutting weight down to this class or gaining weight to down that class. So just I say all the best, strongest pullers
Fair
who
enough.
is
Fair
able
enough.
to go.
That's fair enough. It's a good point. Yeah, that would be great to see. I don't know. We asked people about Worlds ever coming back to the United States, and it seems like there's a conflict over the television stuff. And unless we find a cable channel that's willing to broadcast it, we can't have them here. So I don't know. People don't seem too optimistic that it's going to come back here. But maybe Mexico or Canada or Bermuda or something like that.
We need so you need to have strong federation and organization to host the World Championship.
Right.
So in North American continent, it's only America and Canada basically.
Right.
So I don't believe that in upcoming 2-3 years it will be in this region. But the reason that we lost the bid on the World Championship for last year, it was not that cable or television thing and other stuff. Just the reason is deeper. We are not united.
Right.
We are not all together to bring one proposal. This is the thing. They don't know who to deal with. Someone says this thing, another guy says that thing. So the problem is we are not united. Everything comes from this. If Bill Collins goes to the World Championship Congress and he offers, hey, let's bring the World Championship to America, I do this. Later we'll see Bill Collins is alone.
Right.
So we need to get all together, everybody that who are fighting each other right now. We need to bring all together for one job.
I totally agree.
And only after this case, American arm wrestling will grow, really grow.
Yeah, and it's too
I
bad.
totally agree.
It's too bad, in my opinion, just because a lot of the reason it seems like it won't unify anymore is because of, all because of past experience of we tried it once, and listen, guys, never gonna happen. And it's like, well, how long has it been since we really tried? The arm wrestling world is a little different than it was maybe back when they were trying before, with all the different leagues and all this different talk. So yeah, I don't know. I think if the arm wrestlers are begging for it, then something should be kicked around. Anyway.
Yeah. So how Malaysia got the right to host the World Championship instead of America?
Mm-hmm.
Our American guys, they go nice, honest, required by the rules and law, everything nice, proposal. So in 2014 Lithuania World Congress, Malaysia just already brought their posters, their symbols, toys, and the hotel pictures, the resort pictures, everything. Gave everybody, so members just voted.
Yeah.
They talked already before that Congress with the president. He already visited Malaysia to inspect the stuff. Federation already paid to the federation that fee that you need to pay. So everything was done behind the scenes. Nice.
Right.
And they just got voted, and that's it. Okay, let's go and fight if we have cable or if we don't have a cable.
Right.
need
Well,
to
you're
work all
probably
together.
right. You're right. We do need to work all together. I'm hopeful, man. I talked to people a little bit about it, and they said what John said to a certain extent, but it does seem like there's a lot of like we put a poll out, and 100% of the people who answered said they would like there to be one unified nationals, and that if there is one, they'd be much more likely to go than they would to any of the other three, the way we have it now. And I think you could get 400 or 500 people to show up if you had one world qualifier unified national championships. It would be a title that means something. Like in the article I wrote, I said I've won 6 national titles in different divisions, but I know that if everybody showed up, I'd be lucky to be in the top 20. You know what I mean? So I should not be winning those titles. The people who should be winning need to be there, because then we can send them to the world championships and we can get some titles.
Yeah, but if somebody didn't show and you won the class, that's not your fault.
Right.
You are
I
a
know
national
that.
champion. It's their problem.
Yeah. He can't buy plane tickets for everybody.
If you could pull anybody, any like 154 guy from like history, like I don't know, Dave Patton or somebody from years back, is there anybody you wish you had a chance to pull in their prime?
Well, the number one that you can say is Dave Patton, like you said, from the history. In his prime and my prime, it would be very interesting to see puller from the past and modern arm wrestler, how they will do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nobody can say what will happen, but probably modern arm wrestler has advantage. Already more developed sports.
Yeah.
Sure. Just over time, things tend to get a little more advanced, basically.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think it'd be interesting just because of the different style. I think that's why it'd be interesting too. Him with his, just arm straight up in the air, posting style top roll, and you're basically you want it to basically just touch your arm. Just let my arm touch your arm, and it's on.
Well, today we have different type of trainings.
Yeah.
They had less opportunities at that times. Also, we have different supplements today. They had almost nothing at that time. More international experience today.
Yeah.
Modern arm wrestlers is more developed today.
Yeah, it has to happen. Every sport, powerlifting.
This looks like all those fantasy matches. You remember, like again, Muhammad Ali against somebody or Mike Tyson against somebody. This looks like the same.
Oh, absolutely, definitely.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I hear that Dave Patton still pulls. He just doesn't compete anymore. It'd be fun to try to yank him out of retirement for a super match.
I would like to meet him sometime, somewhere. It can be like in some private meeting or just visit, or whenever we have a tournament close by.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice.
It would be fun.
I always like pullers from the past. I respect them. I always try to meet them, learn some stories, listen some stories from the past. It's always interesting and educative.
Yeah, it's always great to hear where things really started, and what it was like.
Yeah.
Like, some of the stories I've heard from like single elimination tournaments, people, going across the country for a single elimination tournament, like the pressure,
Yeah. But we are lucky we have more developed system today. So.
Right, of course.
Yeah, and we are more lucky we have some protesting system today, which gives you some more chances.
Sure.
The sport going further, it's developing.
Oh, of course. I mean, that was my point too when I brought up some of the rules with WAL and adjusting them to problems that come up. That's just like that's where arm wrestling has become. It started with a certain way, and over the years we developed with training, with rules, with tournament bracket styles, all that. Super matches. It's got to advance. The sport is going to get, every year it's going to change a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the evolution. If you pay attention, there is a period you will see a lot of super matches. People try to get involved in that super matches, especially it was in UAL period. Then tournament fashion, then qualifier periods to the final tournaments.
Sure.
Evolution. This is normal. everything goes normally. This is evolution. But 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, 80 years ago, 90 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 400 years ago, 500 years ago, 600 years ago, 700 years ago, 800 years ago, 900 years ago, 1000 years ago, 2000 years ago, 3000 years ago, 4000 years ago, 5000 years ago, 6000 years ago, 7000 years ago, 8000 years ago, 9000 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 400 years ago, 500 years ago, 600 years ago, 700 years ago, 800 years ago, 900 years ago, 1000 years ago, 2000 years ago, 3000 years ago, 4000 years ago, 5000 We need to understand that some things like World Arm Wrestling Federation had this evolution for many years and developed some system of the rules which makes the match safe and fair and perfect. So why not to use this experience already?
I agree.
World Championship has more than 1,200 athletes every year, more or less.
Mhm.
How many broken arms? None.
Interesting.
That's one thing to think about.
Do you think that's because of the training or the more experienced refereeing or what?
Everything. People are prepared for the World Championship. Equipment tables are brought to more effective condition.
Mm-hmm.
Referees are trained professionally. The rules are safe.
Mhm.
You don't need to extend all your arm to the pin so people will see you lost the match. Guess what? Before the ref stops the match, you cut your bicep muscle already.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Rules prevent.
that was one thing when Leonard came on and talked about the refereeing seminar experience and process of becoming a master referee. I really didn't know that side of it to that degree. You know, I'm a pretty selfish athlete when it comes to that kind of thing. I just want to pull. I don't really want to put on. You know, I'm not like I don't have a lot of dreams of promoting and refereeing. I just want to pull. So I like to know the rules, but beyond that, like I don't really know how that becomes, like how you become a master ref. And when he explained all that, it was pretty cool.
So Leonard is respected person worldwide. Everybody know him, respect him. He has huge experience in reffing. And at every World Championship, before the competition starts, a day before, they have a seminar for everybody. Whoever wants, he can go and visit and take a test to become a referee. So I did this every year. I have a junior referee level. There were years I tried to become a master senior referee.
Yep.
Sorry. So you need to ref 3 real matches. So 2 experienced referees who are taking the exam, they are polling and they are creating situations, and you must ref to make the decisions. And they pay attention to all things. So I didn't pass this senior level. It was hard for me. Maybe I didn't pay that much attention. I always said that, okay, if I pass, anyway, I don't want to work as a ref yet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm still pulling athlete, just for my knowledge. So every day I just go and state my junior referee level there. That's not a problem. But I gain more and more knowledge. And Leonard, for everybody, he shows, he explains in this situation, in that situation, what's the right decision. And all world master referees listen to him.
Right.
And if Leonard wants to do something for America, we must just appreciate that. If he says something is wrong, it must be like this. So there is a base that he's saying that.
Right.
Yeah, if he's saying it, then there's a huge reason to why he's saying it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. And I don't think anybody in any country would disagree with that, because he is such a respected guy. He has such experience, and there's always 10 reasons for every one rule that he comes up with. You know, that is the good part.
Yeah. And we are lucky that we have more experienced referees more than one. So Leonard, Kit Michelle, Bill Collins, Bob Koschel,
Rick Pickney.
And he's from Canada.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I talk about Americans. Yeah. Some
sure.
Canadians, they come and ref in American tournaments too. So we are lucky. We have such a good referee level.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I saw Kit Michelle reffing in Northern Regionals for WAL, which is great. And I see the difference of his reffing and the reffing in South. So he's pulling the pulse and closing fingers. If something is wrong, somebody is climbing up, hold on, open and reset.
Right.
So he's still having those complicated rules. He's trying to make it more fair.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of pullers just reset. No, you climbed up. No, don't climb. So he was trying to make it better and better.
I think there's a world of difference between the Southern Regional and the Northern Regional. And I actually sent Karen Bean a message on Facebook saying that you could tell just the difference in the way the brackets were run, Southern and Northern Region. It was much more professional this last weekend in the Northern Region with Karen doing it than it was the week before. I don't know if the person they had wasn't experienced or just got flustered or what have you. And then there's a big difference in the reffing too. As you mentioned earlier, there's still a lot of elbow fouls that did not get called. Like people were pointing out, Mad Mask got some pretty significant elbow fouls to regain the position in one of his matches. But I mean, it was better. But
yeah,
anyway.
First people need to understand that running elbow foul rule. There are some situations that running fine, but people who watch that, they say, no, that's a foul. Okay, yep. Referee understand different. That's why I need to clear up the rules.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I said in my comments before on Facebook, first we need to read. We are just not complaining. We need to read the rules again to understand the situation and then try to post a comment. That's it.
Right.
So I got two more questions for you from people listening in, Vasgen, that have been very patient. So I want to ask them. One of them is, who was the first victory where you felt maybe you had a chance to be a world champion one day? Like, was there somebody that, you beat and you're like, whoa, maybe I am going to be good at this sport after all?
Well, in my gym in Armenia, when I started arm wrestling, there was no one in my weight class training with. All guys were heavier and much heavier than me. So I was always pulling with heavier and stronger guys.
Yeah.
And slowly I started to fight and to beat these guys. So if I beat an experienced heavier guy, this is a good sign that I can do well at the World Championship.
Sure.
That's a good answer. It's a fair answer. The last question is from Corey. He says, do you feel that Scott Mendelson has what it takes to win a world championship one day? And if so, how long do you think it'll take him to get there?
Scott Mendelson is not going to the World Championship. This is number one thing. He is planning to attend in Vendetta, and we are working on that only. Scott Mendelson is not ready for a World Championship competition. We are working on Vendetta format arm wrestling right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe after some years we will change, and he's a master division. He's not in senior, 4 years and higher.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So if he goes, he will compete in there. But first, here in America, we want to try Vendetta.
Yeah.
They are working on that. They are negotiating with an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming up. It will be some great match to watch.
Do you think that his tremendous strength, is he learning how to translate it into arm wrestling more now?
Yes, he's in learning period now. His strength is huge. It's a powerlifting strength.
Right.
We need to rebuild that strength towards arm wrestling. That's another quality of strength. We all understand this. Also, there is a lot of things to learn. You are basically learning a new martial art for you.
Absolutely.
With all the history, experience, philosophy. This is not a 1 day or 1 year thing.
No.
I learn every day from my own trainings and from others, having many years of experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing that he's getting better, like week after week or month after month, that's definitely.
Yeah, and my opinion on Scott from the beginning when I heard he was going to be an arm wrestler was, to have that kind of willpower and to have the kind of dedication to become to have the world record bench. He obviously has the drive and the ability to commit himself to do something great when it comes to strength. So,
Yeah, and he's famous in his world of powerlifting.
Yeah.
Right.
So bringing that attention to the sports of arm wrestling, which is very, very good for us. If, for example, you can post your arm wrestling video and get some 1,500 views.
Right.
If you post your match against such a guy who has fans worldwide, it will bring you 200,000 views.
Right.
Yeah.
this is more attention to our sports, and which is very good.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to agree. It would be similar to like if you were to arm wrestle like Rich Froning from CrossFit. You're bringing in more attention from people.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
I can bring another great example. So after pulling that Battle of Desert tournament and winning first place, Scott Mendelson got a phone call next day. Hello, Mr. Mendelson. We are calling from Affliction. We saw that you are wearing our shirt in competition. What can we do for you?
Yeah.
This is the thing they called and asked. Have you ever heard Levi's or Affliction calling to Travis Bajent? No.
No.
Right.
Or me? No. Or John Berzeng? No. John Berzeng's neighbor doesn't know who is John Berzeng.
Yeah, that's true.
We have this problem in arm wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And bringing more attention to our sports is most appreciated.
It's a good point. Maybe you should reach out to that CrossFit guy, John.
Yeah, right away.
Maybe. Yeah, or some Playboy models.
Hey,
Yeah,
whatever.
So, well, Vazgen, we kept you on here for 90 minutes, man. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to chat about before we let you go.
Well, I want all our friends, arm wrestlers, just to be respectful to each other. The thing that somebody criticize other league and complain, let's understand each other why that criticizing is happening or complaining is happening. Just respect and understand each other. Get all together and make the sport grow. Just our growth is based on each athlete's behavior. This is all together bringing to one united and strong body. And I hope it will happen and we will get to a better level sooner or later. Good luck to everybody. Have safe pulling and work hard to win.
Awesome, man.
I like it.
It's a great way to end it. Great way to end it.
All right, boys.
All righty, sir. Thank you very much for coming on with us. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Thank you.
I'll see you
Good
later.
All
luck.
right, man.
Yep.
Good night.
Bye.